In the news tonight, St. James North goes to the poll in just under 4 weeks. Senator Chad Blackman unanimously confirmed as the BLP's candidate to contest the St. James North by-election. Sales of fans and air-conditioned units tick up as Barbadians prepare to fight the heat. And in sports, the region's two-time under-15 champs return home to a hero's welcome.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom. In our top story tonight, the by-election for the St. James North constituency will be held on May 21st, with nomination day set for May 6th. The announcement has been made by Prime Minister Mia Motley. In a short statement to the country, Prime Minister Motley says, following the resignation of Member of Parliament Edmund Hinkson, the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados, will issue a writ to fill the vacancy left by Mr. Hinkson's departure.
I visited Her Excellency today and indicated that the writ should be issued tomorrow, Saturday the 26th of April 2025. Similarly, I indicated that nomination day should be Tuesday 6th of May 2025 and the polling date for the election of a member of the House of Assembly for the constituency of St. James North shall be Wednesday 21st of May 2025.
Ms. Motley says this will be a quick election and she urges Barbadians to display their best behaviour throughout the process.
As we approach this important date, let us all show the best of who we are, respectful, responsible and proud. Let us exercise our rights peacefully, uphold the dignity of the process and set a positive example for all future generations. Every word that we speak, every action that we take reflects not just on ourselves, but on this community which we cherish. Together, let us make this a by-election of which we can all be proud.
Meantime, Prime Minister Motley has officially endorsed Senator Chad Blackman as the Barbados Labour Party's candidate for the St. James North constituency. The announcement was made during a news conference at the party's headquarters following a meeting of the National Council.
It is therefore a great deal of pride that I can confirm not just to the people of St. James North but to the public of Barbados that we are fully and completely happy and unified in the determination of this party to have Mr. Blackman, whose passion and commitment to this party and to representational politics has been self-evident to all.
Prime Minister Motley thanked outgoing MP Edmund Hinkson for his years of service, not only to the party but also to the people of Barbados. Now, Senator Chad Blackman, who was formally and unanimously ratified by the party, said he was humbled by the opportunity to serve.
I place myself before the people of St. James North, a constituency that I've fallen in love with, particularly over the last year. I must tell you, every day, last year particularly, when I would leave economic affairs or cabinet, I would head straight into the constituency. But what it did, it allowed not just to build a relationship with the people, but I got to understand in a very intricate and real way, not just what are the challenges, but what are the opportunities that people want to see. And I believe and I know that my experiences throughout the years allows for me to take their ideas and aspirations and put them in a way that we can now build forward. And within the next 90 days, you'll be hearing from the Barbados Labour Party platform as to what is the vision of the future of St. James North.
Well, the announcement of the upcoming by-election in the St. James North constituency should not take either party or candidate by surprise. That's according to political analyst Peter Wickham, who was commenting following the announcement of May 21st being set as election day and May 6th as nomination day, as made by Prime Minister Mia Motley. Mr. Wickham says it will be of interest if there will be any election debates where the Barbados Labour Party candidate Senator Chad Blackman and Democratic Labour Party candidate Felicia Dujon will face off.
The government, of course, is ready because they would have precipitated this event. The opposition has indicated that they are ready. They've announced a candidate, and the candidate has already said that she has some history in the constituency, so clearly she is known well enough that she would be in a position to take on the election race. So I think we should have a sharp election period, as the Prime Minister indicated. and I think that both candidates are reasonably well placed to fight this election.
Work is ongoing and the scene has been set as all roads lead to the East Coast for the Barbados Labour Party's annual picnic. The festivities will be held at the picturesque Barclays Park on April 28th. The BLP's Director of Marketing, Antonio Moore, says this year promises to be even more vibes. He says they're happy with the response so far from a number of their constituents. Now, when a CBC News crew met up with him, he was doing a walkthrough of the area with emergency personnel.
We have a number of buses coming out. We have a number of people requesting tents. Here is going to be filled with a lot of flavor and it's going to be very festive. And speaking of flavor, one addition that we've added this year is a cook-off competition. So you can come out to see who will be the next BLP Master Chef. It's a cook-off. Is going to be held in the afternoon. I can't give you the time because I want you there from the beginning. The event runs from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m.
Well, some retailers are reporting an uptick in sales of fans and air-conditioned units. Similarly, at least one technician who installs air-conditioned units reports a demand for those installations. Rachel Agard has that story.
Standing fans, ceiling fans and air-conditioned units are moving off the shelves like hotcakes as the heat intensifies across the island. Hardware manager at ASHMB Hardware, Michael Cummins, says while they do not sell air-conditioned units, fans have been in high demand.
So far, fan sales has been steady, but we expect that things will get a little more busy with it as the heat comes in. And we have fans that stock. Persons buy according to the pocket. I believe persons are buying them, they're using them to do both, for decorations and for the heat.
Proprietor at Servitech, Tremaine St. Hill, says the demand for air-conditioned units to be installed is very high. A CBC News crew met up with him and technician Kevin Dalrymple while they were installing a unit at a private residence.
It normally do, but only some years get very, very busy. Very. So. It's about, we see about Christmas, because last year we was looking for it to done like on October, it went all on to December. So I know the city is going to be hotter, so I know for sure that definitely going to be done further down the year.
And according to the Caribbean Climate Outlook Forum, heat waves are set to gradually ramp up, but levels will unlikely match those of 2023 and 2024. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Principals of schools impacted by the Barbados Union of Teachers strike action managed on the second day of teacher absence. That's according to Deputy Chief Education Officer Julia Beckles. As a result of yesterday's action, 6 primary schools were impacted. At Belmont Primary, 3 out of 18 teachers reported for duty. At Arthur Smith Primary, 11 out of 31 teachers were present. At St. Lawrence Primary, 5 of a complement of 21 teachers were there. At Workman's Primary, 3 out of 12 teachers reported for duty. At Sharon Primary, 10 out of 28 teachers were on hand, while at St. Jude's Primary, 17 teachers reported for duty, but by midday, several had left.
We were supported today by teachers from the Earlston Teachers Training College, student teachers, and retired educators. At this time, I wish on behalf of the Ministry of Educational Transformation to thank those student teachers who came to our assistance, as well as our colleagues who are retired but decided today that they will come to our aid. I also take this opportunity to thank our principals for their creative management of this situation.
The Barbados Union of Teachers is refuting claims that their ongoing strike action is political or that they are affiliated with any political party.
The Barbados Union of Teachers thanks all members who participated in yesterday's protest action and looks forward to your continued support today. The union strongly refutes the recent claims made by the Minister of Educational Transformation, suggesting that the BUT is acting political or is affiliated with any political party. While our members, like all citizens, are entitled to their personal political views, the Barbados Union of Teachers is not and has never been a political organization. It will not be used as such. The union has always operated solely in the interests of its members and remains committed to carrying out their mandate. Please note that mixed and conflicting messages from the Ministry of Educational Transformation and the Ministry of the Public Service have contributed to the union's decision to take protest action. The action will continue today, April the 25th, 2025.
Coming up on Newsnight, concern over the length of time it takes for juvenile matters to be dealt with in court. There are fresh concerns tonight over how long juvenile matters are taking to reach the law courts. This as the government minister responsible for overseeing the rights of children wants the introduction of a family court specifically to deal with child-related cases. These matters were raised today at a child care board walk against child abuse. Our Nesta Henry was there and filed this report.
Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs Kirk Humphrey says the time has come for a family court to be opened in Barbados. He says this is necessary amid concerns that matters related to children are taking too long to reach the law courts.
I know that we have been talking about a family court for a long time. I think the time has come for us to have a family court, to be able to deal with these matters pertaining to children in an expedited way. One of the things that I remember was a case when I was manager of the child care board of a young girl who was abused at like 10. Her case was called, she was a grown woman with children, and what they see as an adult is completely different from the child that is abused. So we need to get the cases through to be able to protect children.
The director of the child care board, Roseanne Richards, is not happy that child abuse victims do not get the deserved justice, while there is necessary legislation in place to protect children.
It looks unfair and unreasonable and unjust when a child would have been abused at 6 or 7, and then when that child becomes an adult at 18 or 20 or 21, the matter is now making its way through the court. And sometimes there's this saying, justice delayed, justice denied, and persons might think that when it takes so long for it to get through the court system, that it might bring different balance or outcome.
Ms. Richards explains annual statistics have not been showing significant increases in child abuse cases.
Like by a 1 or 2 every year. For the last 3 to 4 years, we've been having at least over 600 reported cases each year. And these reported cases include the different types of abuse. You could have sexual abuse, you could have physical abuse cases, you could have neglect and abandonment, and some cases of emotional abuse.
The Child Care Board organized the walk to sensitize the public about child abuse and to highlight the importance of reporting child abuse cases. The walk was held in the north of the island this year because, according to statistics, there are high numbers of child abuse reports in St. James and St. Peter, after Christchurch and St. Michael. Nesta Henry, CBC News.
Amid the escalating violence, Roman Catholic Bishop of Barbados, the Most Reverend Neil Scantlebury, wants children to be taught the importance of forgiveness. He suggested failing such will result in the continuation of violence.
The eye for eye continues. The killing and the murders, the shooting, the stabbings continues if we do not learn and teach our children how to forgive. We become people of the peripheries. We look beyond ourselves and go to those who need love, dignity, and hope. We don't look to beat people down, but we look to help them up.
Reverend Scantlebury's comments came as the Catholic Church in Barbados held a special Requiem Mass for His Holiness Pope Francis. Catholic faithfuls were joined by fellow Christians from the Anglican and Methodist denominations. Reminiscing on the life of Pope Francis, he remembered him as a man of mercy who reminded the world of God's love.
He reminded us that no one is beyond the reach of God's love, and God's mercy is always present. In this Jubilee year of mercy, in his many writings, in the countless gestures, the washing of the feet of prisoners, embracing the sick, listening to the stories of the migrants, and listening to the stories of the abandoned. He showed us the face of mercy. He showed us the face of the merciful Father.
Plans for the highly anticipated Barbados Workers Union annual Mayday celebrations are in full swing. This year, the BWU is partnering with the 2025 Regathering Initiative and will be hosting the celebrations in Pool Woods in St. John on May 1st. Anesta Henry visited that location where the BWU officials and partners were engaged in a site visit.
Entrepreneurs will play a major role in the 2025 Mayday celebrations. BWU's General Secretary Tony Moore says this year's setup will feature a workers' village where 20 small business owners will be able to showcase their products and their services.
You should note that these are not large companies. These are small companies that we are trying to expose. Some of them are even our own members that are affiliated with them, and we try to bring exposure to small businesses because very often events will feature big companies and so on, but here at the Workers Union we are about boosting our members, promoting enfranchisement and promoting good efforts that workers have undertaken on their own to help themselves outside of the formal work that they're involved in.
May 1st starts the beginning of the St. John Regathering activities. Ms. Moore says the May Day celebrations being held at Pool Woods is the ideal way to kick off that parish's regathering activities.
And St. John is featured under the theme of community. And what better way to kick off community celebrations in St. John than with the organization that for the last 84 years has been about community, has been about promoting and improving the well-being, not just of our members, but every worker and his or her families.
The Barbados Police Service Band will be delivering hit after hit throughout the day's activities. There will be a kids zone to keep children occupied, and dominoes and mixology competitions are also in store. Corporate Communications Specialist at the Grantley Adams International Airport, Charlene Brown-Jones says Gaia Inc. is pleased to sponsor the Dominoes tournament.
We've always been very big on community, and that seems to be the focus of what the May Day celebrations are all about. We want to bring that level of excitement to the actual fair and to the community at the Grantley Adams International Airport. We've always had a good reputation of being involved in sports and community activities, so it's really important for us to be a part of this. As you may know, the World Domino Championships is happening in Barbados later this year. I think it's in October, and at the airport we are exploring some ways so that we can actually have some of the tournament happening perhaps in the Concord, some of the games happening there. It will be a very exciting time.
The Family Fun Day and the picnic will be held between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. with the Barbados Transport Board providing transportation to and from the venue. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Well, a new element will be added to the annual Mum This One's For You show on Mother's Day. Founder and producer of the show, specifically for mothers, Desmond Weeks, told a media conference this year a pageant will be added to the show, scheduled to be held at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre on May 11th.
This year marks a deep personal milestone as we introduce a brand new element to our celebration. Oh yes, a beauty pageant. That is the new element we are going with this year. And it will be held in loving memory of my late wife, Marcia I. Weeks.
Mr. Weeks says this year's show will feature an all-star cast of some of Barbados' finest entertainers.
John King, Kian Walters, Matt Fingal, Desmond Weeks, Jennifer Walker, Kid Sight, Adrian Green, Onika Best, the Back in Timers, and all of that will be backed by Mike Cheeseman and his band. And there are going to be more too. With a mix of music, dance, storytelling, this dynamic showcase is poised to become a must-see.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power Inn. Pause is power. And by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Sports time now. Let's head over to the sports studio where Anne-Marie Burke is standing by with all the details. Good evening, Anne-Marie.
Good evening, Lisa. And I start with news of cricket. Barbados Falcons and host Trinidad Legions have just started their opening match of the West Indies Breakout T20 League, which bowled off today at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. A few moments ago, the Trinidad Legions were 27 for 3. The game is being aired live on MCTV's ESPN channel 308. In the opening match earlier today, Infernos defeated Rangers by 25 runs. Batting first, Informers made 166 for 2 off their 20 overs. Skipper Alec Anthony top scored with 91. Not out, that included 5 fours and 7 sixes. Rangers were then restricted to 144 for 9 after being 120 for 1 in the 14th over. Kevlon Anderson top scored with 58, while Darrell Cyrus took 4 for 37. The victorious Barbados under-15 cricket team returned home from Antigua and Barbuda to a celebration after retaining the Cricket West Indies Rising Stars title. The atmosphere was electric. As eager parents, guardians, relatives and well-wishers waited outside the arrival hall at the Granny Adams International Airport for the victorious under-15 cricket team to emerge, you knew the excitement was building. And from the time the sliding doors opened, there was an eruption of cheers, fitting for a hero's welcome as they successfully defended their regional Rising Stars title. Among the official welcome party was Vice President of the Barbados Cricket Association, Calvin Hope, and Chairman of Selectors, Elvis Howard, and both had words of praise for the young cricketers.
You've done Barbados proud, you've done your parents proud, you've done the BCA very proud. All of us love you guys. We know that you're very talented. We will continue to support you. Right? Congratulations again to the management team, your manager and the coaches. Congratulations to you as well.
The last time we spoke, remember I told you it was hard to defend a title, and you defended it. I'm happy. On behalf of the panel, I want to say congratulations to the entire touring team, the manager, the coaches, and I'm happy that the hard work we started since January, and you've been successful. Good luck for the rest of the year.
The team was led by head coach Roddy Eswick, and he said the victory must be attributed to the hard work the entire team put in.
Obviously, the boys are very, very talented. Talent is very important, and once you put structure in place, once you put organization in place, then the success will come to the fore.
Building on this success, Eswick is calling for more to be done to expose the young cricketers to international competition.
I would love to see them playing outside the Caribbean. I said the same thing last year, nothing happened. You know, we tend to take things for granted. You know, we think that we're going to produce international cricketers. But if we have the opportunity to get them overseas at an early age, they're playing in different conditions. By the time they get to international level, it's not foreign. But I'll see what we've done this year.
Outside of being overall champions, Captain Justin Paris was named as the best all-rounder after scoring 121 runs and claiming 13 wickets. And Kalani Clark finished as the tournament's leading run scorer with 216. So with an unbeaten run and retaining the Cricket West Indies Rising Stars under-15 title, these are the young men that are the future of cricket in Barbados. As part of the St. Joseph regathering activities, Springer's Community Pillars and the Law School provided lots of entertainment for a special St. Joseph T20 Tateball final before a heavy downpour forced both teams to share the spoils. Batting first at the Granny Adams Memorial School grounds recently, Springer's Community Pillars posted 180 for 6 off their allotted overs. Devon Phillips said with 43 off 27. CBC's Damien Best reports.
Great atmosphere for this clash at the Granny Adams Memorial School grounds. Springer's Community Pillars batting first against the Lodge School. Diego Stewart to Shamario DePease, a glorious cover drive to open proceedings. That's 4 anywhere in the world. No bowler was spared. DePease climbs into this full toss with ease. That's 4 more. The Pisa and Michael Stewart had a great opening partnership. Streaky from Stewart off the edge and down to third man for more runs. A little more authentic this time from Stewart. Picks the gap with precision. The fielder's job to retrieve. The first 6 of the night compliments De Pisa in the slot and ear dropped over the ropes. Some cane cutting required. 54 without loss. Just when life was looking rosy, Springer's community pillars lost De Pisa for 32. Clean ball by Zion Brathwaite. 54 for 1. 1 wicket usually brings 2. The new man, Christine O'Dane, knocked over by Malik Amy for 1. The lights are on, sir. You've got to go. Trevon Bryan into the attack, takes on the fielder, and just out of his reach, maximum added to the score. The Lodge in need of a scalp, and they got their wish. Little nibble from Michael Stewart, snapped up, caught behind by Gadsden Bowens for 18. Off Bryan, 87 for 3. Devon Phillips took over the anchor role and kept the scoreboard ticking over. Blink and you miss it, brutal. Phillips registered 2 sixes. This is the second touch and go for a moment, but it hits the fence on the full. 6 runs. He needed some stability at the opposite end, but Marco Rock had his stumps rattled by Rashid Padmore for 4. 110, 4 wickets down. The pillar is still on course for a very competitive score, but Phillips out for 43 at a critical juncture, going for a big shot. Diego Stewart making the catch by DeMarco Wiggins even more spectacular. Well, 110 for 5. Diego with an economy rate of 9. Jermaine Hall holds his shape on the straight drive. That's a dozen. With the overs running out, Springer's community pillars will lose 1 more wicket. Ramon Redmond went out for 9. However, the scoreline was healthy. Springer's community pillars 180 for 6 in their 20 overs. Jermaine Bullen unbeaten on 31 and Hall left not out on 26.
Now, in reply, the Lodge were off to a shaky start at 9 for 2 after 2 overs, but then the rain brought an end to proceedings and the teams were announced as joint champions.
2 new vehicles unveiled and 3 reintroductions were the highlight of the Green Mobility launch by multi-brand dealers Courtesy Garage at Mahogany Ridge last night. Hyundai sales manager Ryan Morris says it's a red-letter day for the automotive industry as it is in keeping with Barbados' development goals and moves the industry to the next level.
You would find that a lot of the modern mobility that Hyundai has put into place is something now coming standard across the board. You find that a lot of the safety features, a lot of the security features, a lot of the plug-and-play features like the Android Auto and the Apple CarPlay, things that people once thought were only high-end, like lane keeping assist, blind spot detection, forward collision avoidance and rear collision avoidance. Those things now, especially in the hybrid or the green mobility space, those things come now as standard.
And the company official tells the Business Report a cadre of trained technical specialists are in place to help bolster the customer service.
We have trained technicians, we have a state-of-the-art workshop, and we have everything in place. So there's no need to fear about getting into new technology, whether it is hybrid or is EV, we are ready.
International customers rubbed shoulders with locals at Shernet and Cheyenne's fruit and vegetable stall in Oistins, Christchurch. Co-manager Cheyenne Harvey tells the Business Report it is more than a place for produce and ground provisions. It's a place for personal upliftment.
It used to be a family stall, and I say that. Our mom, she's a farmer, and she supplied a lot of our vegetables and stuff like that. We've been here actually close to 18 years now. So everybody down this area know us. We have customers that fly in that will just call, oh, Charlotte, Cheyenne, we're on our way and we would like XYZ. So it's really a very loving stall. And when you come, you don't just get service, you get, a lot of people come here, they get prayers, they get song, because I'm always singing.
Ms. Harvey spoke about the development plans for Shernet and Cheyenne's fruit and vegetable.
One of our main thing was that we wanted to get like a jerk jump, because our roots is Jamaican. So we're Bajan Jamaican. So I wanted to have like a jerk jump where we could roast potatoes, roast corn, like stuff like that to offer to the our customers and to the public. But it's, like I said, it's an idea that we're thinking about, because really and truly, if you're passing here and you have somebody that doing roast potatoes and some fried saltfish, you will buy it.
Let's head back over to the sports studio for part 2 of the package. Anne-Marie?
Thank you, Lisa. Well, a hardware malfunction with the timing system may have caused a premature end to the Barbados Auto Racing League's quarter-mile acceleration test at Bourbon St. Lucie recently. However, for what action was possible, spectators were given a show. Despite heavily overcast skies, the Motorsport fans were out in their numbers at Bourbon St. Lucie as Barrow hosted its Easter Monday quarter-mile acceleration test. 36 drivers took their cars down the drag strip as speed and adrenaline were the order of the day. And though a hardware malfunction of the timing system prevented overall winners being decided, the rev of engines and the smell of exhaust and burnt rubber delighted the fans. And there were the usual shareholders of the sport. Behind the wheel of the car they called Clifford the Big Red Dog was Sammy Cumberbatch. And from the fans' reactions, he did not disappoint. And despite the technical issues, all agreed that it was a good showing by the drivers, and Barl is set to meet and work out an alternative plan to appease the drivers who are unable to complete the Easter Monday event. In the wake of concerns about the rising number of sexually transmitted diseases among young people in Barbados, one top sporting discipline is being used to educate the island's youth. The power and reach of football are being harnessed to educate, engage and empower youth, particularly vulnerable groups such as school dropouts and the unemployed. It's being done by the Barbados Football Association in partnership with the Ministry of Health and Wellness. They've launched a community outreach program focused on HIV and STI prevention, as well as sexually reproductive health and rights. Dr. Dale Babb, the Senior Medical Officer of Health with responsibility for the HIV-STI program in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, explained why they have decided to use the sport of football.
A football team can be viewed as a trusted social network, and team bonds create safe spaces for honest and trusted conversations. Coaches are often respected role models who can deliver key messages, and there's repeated engagement through football. Regular practices and matches offer multiple opportunities for this. In addition to these, football's structure, rules, teamwork, boundaries can parallel life lessons in sexual health and decision-making.
BFA President Randy Harris says Barbados' football is more than what happens on the field of play.
We are very, very interested in their health, because without health, we don't have any footballers. And the truth is that when the Ministry of Health and Wellness approached us about working with them to get the message across, we had no other choice than to join in unity. We have 66 clubs in the BFA, and each club has at least a minimum of 30 players, right? And I'm talking about only seniors. Then we have a junior program, we have a women's program, and we want to use our assets here to be able to bring our young people up to date with the way that they should operate, especially regarding to sex and sexual health.
And that's news for tonight. On behalf of the entire team, thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.